So if you are running an HVAC or a plumbing shop and you've been looking at the ServiceTitan, then honestly, you probably already had the same reaction everybody else in the industry, because that thing is powerful, but it is expensive and it's clearly built for the biggest guys, which are like PE firms. So in this video, I'm comparing the 5 best ServiceTitan alternatives for HVAC and plumbing in 2026. I'm going to talk a bit about ServiceTitan itself because that's the benchmark, and it's House Call Pro, Jobber, Field Edge, and Field Camp. And let me just put two numbers on screen for you because this is really what the whole video is about. The ServiceTitan for a 20 tech HVAC company runs you somewhere around $9,000 a month plus an implementation fee that can land anywhere from 15 to 50,000, and then a 12-month contract that you can't just walk away from. If you do, then you are again paying that same 5 to 20 grand just to leave. Now those are numbers, just ballparks. It can move around, but I'll be honest with you about that later. But that's just the average you can aim for. And that same 20 people plan, for example, on Field Camp can land anywhere between $2,000 to $3,000 without any annual commitment. So that gap, which is the massive gap right there, that's the reason you clicked on this video, and I'm going to make it easy for you to just go through every single alternatives. And just so you know how I'm scoring this, ServiceTitan itself is the benchmark. Then it's House Call Pro, Jobber, Field Edge, Field Camp, which are the 4 challengers. I'm benchmarking all of it against ServiceTitan, scoring them, and then I'm assigning a winner at the end of each and every section. And here's the open loop I really want you to stick around for, because by the end of this, I'm going to tell you which of these is actually built for HVAC and plumbing, and which two that everybody recommends secretly can't even track a serial number, which is kind of sus, or run a flat rate price book. Honestly, one of the most recommended tools in this whole category fails the trades test completely. So stick around for that, because that's the one thing that's going to surprise you. So here's the flow, real quick, just so you know what you're getting. First, we will cover what all 5 of these tools do the same, the table stakes, the stuff that honestly isn't a real differentiator anymore, especially in 2026. And then we get into the real differences that separate these softwares, and that's where it gets good, because scheduling, dispatch, quoting, invoicing, and then the trades specific features that really decides the entire equation for your decision. And then AI, because it's 2026. Of course, you are going to hear we have AI from every single one of these contenders, but I'm going to show you which AI is actually included versus which one charges you extra for the extra second, third, whatever the usage is. It's just to answer your phone, for example. And then we do the pricing tier by tier, every plan and every dollar amount I can give you. Then there is the part of the per tech pricing models. Really don't want you doing the math on first of all, so we will do it together. And then lastly, we'll talk about a bunch of stuff like integrations, QuickBooks question, and any deeper stuff, and final verdict, which you should exactly pick based on your company's size. And then right before we wrap up, there's a 5th option these comparison videos never mention, because it means you don't have to rip out the entire software you're already on. So let's get started. So let's start with the basics, because I don't want to waste your time pretending the table stakes stuff is just some kind of a selling point. Honestly, every one of these 5 field service platforms, ServiceTitan, House Call Pro, Jobber, Field Edge, Field Camp, does the core field service management stuff, and they do it completely, and it's competitive. So what do I mean by that? Well, all 5 give you scheduling and a dispatch board, so you can see your texts and your jobs on the calendar, move the calendar around. All 5 lets you build a quote or an estimate, turn it into an invoice. All 5 takes payments, card payments, most of them ACH too, and all 5 have a customer database, so you've got history on who you have serviced. And then all 5 have a mobile app on iOS and Android, so your tech in the field can pull the job, mark it done, snap a photo, collect payment right in the truck. And then 4 of the 5 gives you some way to try before you fully commit. So Field Camp has a 7-day free trial. First of all, House Call Pro and Jobber have free trials you can start with. But ServiceTitan and Field Edge, those 2 are the only ones. They don't give you the free trials, and that's why probably you are watching this video, I'm guessing. So this is just what you should know, the basics first of all. And then if a tool cannot schedule a job, dispatch a job, or do any of the basics, then in 2026 it should not exist on this list. and I would not be here talking about it. So now let's talk about scheduling and dispatching, because if you are running multiple techs across city, this is where you either save an hour or day or you lose one. Ask the question that actually matters here. Does it have a calendar? Because they all do. Or how smart is the calendar from getting right tech to the right job? So ServiceTitan going first is genuinely strong here. They've got the capacity based dispatch board first of all, and they've got the Dispatch Pro, which is their AI scheduling that looks at the predicted job value, your tech's performance, drive time, and then optimizes who goes where. So for a big shop that's juggling a high value install against quick maintenance call, that kind of optimization is genuinely real money and it's good. But I'll be straight with you. It's a paid module on top of the base subscription, and we will get to what the bill looks at, but it is not pretty. Now House Call Pro just rolled up the route based scheduling as well in May of 2026. So they have gotten meaningfully better recently, and for a small residential shop it's plenty. And then Jobber also gives you a clean drag and drop board, and honestly it's great for like visit based recurring work, but it's built board, so it's not really doing anything trade specific with your dispatch. Field Edge also has a dispatch board, but I'll be straight with you, the reviews are not that good because you can't always click a time slot to start a work order, and the mobile app always lags since it's pulling these huge live sync customer files. So the dispatch experience there is honestly a little dated. And then FieldCams comes at dispatch differently. So their AI dispatcher is an optimization engine that by their numbers evaluates over 10,000 combinations within a second to place the right tech on the right job. And they claim 3.2 times faster dispatch and 94 times first time fix rate. Now I want to straight with you right here, because I'm going to repeat this later. Those are just the vendor numbers. Ultimately what they claim, they are FieldCam's own marketing numbers, and their independent review footprint is still pretty thin because of course they are reinventing the AI dispatching category. They're a newer entrant into the market. But just looking at the demos they have published on their YouTube, this looks like something which is actually real. So who wins scheduling and dispatch wise? Well, for raw dispatching power or on a big operation, ServiceTitan wins this section, because Dispatch Pro is of course most battle tested. But I have heard many customers who are like, for $100 ServiceTitan's Dispatch Pro sends a technician across the town because it's highly influenced for revenue optimization. But for overall AI dispatch, if you want to truly automate fully your dispatch process, just not get suggestions based on revenue, then FieldCam's engine looks like the most modern challenger. But with those numbers, I think FieldCam and ServiceTitan, it comes down to more features which we are going to talk about. So now let's talk about quoting and invoicing, because for a HVAC and a plumbing, this is where money actually gets made or lost. So if you have ever stood in a customer's driveway trying to remember when was the last time you quoted them, retype the same job details into like 3 different screens before you can even send an invoice, then this section is for you. The ServiceTitan does this really well. First of all, it is good, better, best proposal that they have. It is an integrated price book. There is financial stuff which is built right in. The tech can present these 3 options on the tablet, get a yes on the spot. And that's a proven selling motion in the trades. Now House Call Pro has a sales proposal tool. It's an add-on first of all, and they actually upgraded it in fall of 2025. So the good, better, best is there too. But heads up, as I said, it's around $40 a month. So you just want to, if you're willing to pay extra per month, then House Call Pro has that trade as well. Now Jobber gives you the professional quotes with optimal line items and customization like logos and stuff. But it's clean, it works really well. But just for like small shops, like less than 5 people HVAC or plumbing shops, where you're just doing flat rate pricing, and you can integrate Profit Rhino or a more genuinely powered up version. But overall Jobber's estimate module is pretty thin, where you add line items, you price it, and you send it. There's no good, better, best option or anything. FieldCam's whole thing is around like this one flow data model. So for example, a request comes in and it becomes an estimate. Then the estimate becomes a job, and the job is scheduled basically as a visit. The visit becomes an invoice. So you're not retyping the entire thing every single time. So what you put in the estimate gets carried forward. That's a huge time saver. First of all, I think most of the softwares have these workflows plus or minus, but FieldCam also has the good, better, best options, same as House Call Pro and ServiceTitan. So in this section, ServiceTitan's estimating features are there in FieldCam and House Call Pro, and then the contender is Field Edge, and then there is Jobber. Okay, so this is the section I told you to stick about for, because this is the one that decides the whole video for HVAC or plumbing. Because here's the real question almost nobody in this comparison videos actually answers. Can the software handle the real trades work for HVAC and plumbing? And what I mean by that is, for example, can it track your equipment or serial numbers, or so when you roll up to a maintenance call, you already know which condenser is sticking on that pad, or which liter heater and which backflow assembly you serviced for that plumbing customer last spring, and what you did at it, for example. And that matters a ton. So let's run the trade. So ServiceTitan passes the whole thing top to bottom. It has the deepest trade platforms because they started building it for HVAC and plumbing, and that's the big part that you are paying it for. Field Edge passes it too because it's a trade native software with flat rate pricing through the Profit Rhino integration and QuickBooks sync ultimately, which is there. Now here's the part nobody tells out loud. Jobber and Housecall Pro are not trade deep because almost no video will admit this, but I'm going to. Jobber does not have any way to track serial numbers on equipment, no flat rate price book, no load calculation, no pipe or fixture catalogs. You can't deeply cleanly break your revenue into install, repair, maintenance. It's built broad just for like lawn care, cleaning, etc., and just some HVAC touches. And Housecall Pro has this thing as well, where you can't track all of this except for some custom fields inside a client's portal. FieldCam is built different because it's a very interesting spot in the middle right here. It's not a traditional trade software just built for HVAC or plumbing out of box like Field Edges. What FieldCam's approaches is their custom data model. What that means is the entire platform is configurable to your workflow and what you want to track in your business. So what that means is you can come in and get on a call with FieldCam and say that, hey, I have a client for which I have units, for which I have equipment, and in equipment I want to track this QR code and for example equipment number. Can you do this? And with a full just like different philosophy, FieldCam team or their certified partners will work with you to set this up. So who wins the trade specific after all of this dialogue? So this section, of course, ServiceTitan level benchmark, only two softwares have it. It's FieldCam and Field Edge. Field Edge is outside box, but there's no customizability, so maybe whatever they give you, you have to accept it. And now the most important question in 2026, which of these are good AI wise, because that changes the entire equation. Now let's talk about AI, because first of all, every one of these tools is heavily investing in it, the teams are heavily working on it, and everyone has different philosophy of implementing it. So ServiceTitan, first of all, they have an agentic AI which is I think called Atlas. It's built on Google's Gemini, and it runs reports, dispatches text, and guides the technician through the job, and even throttles your marketing spend. So basically their AI voice agent, the one that answers the call, books job 24/7, is now their core in the core subscription. It's legitimately just, for voice part is pretty great and pretty good. Now here's the thing, Housecall Pro has this AI team that includes all, it's included in the all plans. First of all, you get chat, marketing, analyst, coach, paper, XYZ, but their CSR AI is the only one which is most useful to help a phoning system like 24/7, or once they can actually book a job for you. And then when you say that, hey, let's go into Housecall Pro and say that, hey, I want to create this estimate with these line items XYZ, that is not possible yet because they are focused more on the communications AI layer. Jobber has the same thing. They have AI receptionist, which is there. They have recently released an AI update on their mobile app where you can just go and say that, hey, can you take me to do XYZ screen, or can you create invoice? It does say initially that, hey, I have done it for you, but I don't think it works. I tried it myself. Field Edge is this is the one that has not surprised me, because in 2026 Field Edge has no native AI on its own, no AI dispatcher, no AI receptionist, no voice agent, etc. They only have an AI phone answering, which is through a third party like Good Call. And then FieldCam is the only one in 2026 is built AI first. And this is a right lane to be in, because you've got AI dispatcher, which uses machine learning models to find the right person for the right job. You have AI CSR, which can be multi-channel and it can talk to people in multiple channels. Book jobs. You have CSR support, for example, when a call comes in, live transcription on the screen ultimately, and the AI is extracting it. An AI command center for the technicians. The technicians on the site can just say, hey, create this invoice, mark this job complete, etc. And their AI chat chat does it. So this section, clear winner is FieldCam. They have the most comprehensive AI tech stack compared to ServiceTitan, Jobber, HouseCall Pro, and Field Edge. And then lastly, we are going to talk about the thing that matters the most, the pricing of these softwares. Now, ServiceTitan's pricing is locked. Of course, you have to go on a demo. Then based on your size and requirements, they are going to give you price. I gave a rough estimate earlier. The Dispatch Pro is an add-on which is like $130 per technician per month. If you are paying just $200 per tech to start with Dispatch Pro AI automation, you are going to pay $300. Now, if you say head-to-head pricing wise and most capability wise, which is the software, then FieldCam is the one which is most competitive pricing wise with ServiceTitan because of its customizability, data model, and all the AI innovation that these guys are doing. But there's a second category where just traditional functionality, no AI, nothing. I just want something which is developed, established modules for HVAC and plumbing. Then it is Field Edge. You have to decide if you want a system which is more customizable, more AI centric, etc., or if you just want a traditional system which is Field Edge. Because Field Edge pricing is not that bad because first of all, it's straightforward. For any given technician or any given team, you have to get on a call with Field Edge and then they are going to quote you. But based on public research, it's pretty much same as FieldCam and not that high as ServiceTitan. HouseCall Pro has their pricing public on their HouseCall Pro pricing page. It starts from $189, goes up to $500, $600, and Jobber starts at $39, which is the most basic plan for a solo person, but it can go up to $500, $900 after all add-ons and stuff. But the pricing math is a bit drastic. On ServiceTitan, you are paying $9,000 a month for 20-30 technicians. On Jobber, you might be paying $500, $600, and in the middle there is Field Edge and FieldCam. You are paying $1,500 to $2,000 for it. And based on all of this, I think now you have 4 contenders to ServiceTitan based on what you really need. I think for HVAC and plumbing, if you just want a generic software, nothing fancy, no trade specific features, no equipment tracking or anything, just want to make estimate, then tech, close job, then HouseCall Pro is the best software. If you want to track equipment, if you want to go in detail, which site has what equipment, if you are commercial HVAC, for example, you want to track what properties have what equipment, when was the last time, what's the service history, etc. For all this default or detailed workflows like commercial plus residential, then FieldCam is the software that makes all of this possible. And then it's Field Edge because of lack of customizability. But Field Edge also has comparative modules to FieldCam and ServiceTitan. So here are your answers, which are the best softwares. Just go check them out and get on a call with them. Thank you.